Hey, um, Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. So the site that I am looking at is Kabul City Center Shopping Mall and Sophie Landmark Hotel, which is located in Sharon now. It's um, like a draft of the site plan, the location of it. We have the Sharonau Park nearby, and also the famous Ansari Square, which is like located right at the corner of the site. And we have this L-shaped site, which was which after some years another building was built right before it and covered its northern site. So after some analysis, I wanted to do some more work on this, like some sections or something to analyze, but I didn't know much about the plan because I couldn't find like a plan of it. So I tried to understand from some pictures and try to understand as much of the building as I could so that I can move forward. I tried my best to by talking and by looking some pictures and videos somehow solve how this plan works, how this building works. However, a lot of places are still gaps, and also I'm not sure if 100% the information I gathered is true. So I would appreciate if people who have visited this building help me if there was something wrong here. So from what I understood, there are three entrances to this building. One of them is in the front, which is like close to the Sharonau Park in the other side, and this entrance is mainly for the shopping mall. So people who are coming to for shopping, they enter from this entrance. Another one is on the western side, which is for the mainly for the hotel, and it goes to the reception area. And from the reception area, people can go to their rooms, and everything is connected from that part. And also there is also a third entrance, which because in the southern part of this building we also have a road. So there is another entrance which is mainly, from what I heard, it mainly leads to the conference halls and events rooms, and like there are some wedding salons and everything. So from this entrance, people don't see what they see from the in the shopping mall and then the hotels, and so it's a bit maybe isolated part. And also in the back it has a parking, but I couldn't understand. I couldn't find any information about how much it is, or does it go underground or so. So you can see the entrances. The entrance from the north, like which is this one, like more like visible to people, and also the second one, which it seems like it takes a part of the pedestrian walls. It's like it looks like a thick concrete wall, and it's very secure, which enters to the hotel section. And people who go through this go through a lot of security checks. Uh, Although from the first one also that it said that there is another door behind this door, and in between there is a security check. But for the second one, it's more than one. It's more than just two doors. Yes.
John, can you hold on one second, John? Wasn't there another person with you که در خود شهر کابل زندگی میکردن همراه teammate شوند؟ Wasn't there someone?
Last week, two girls joined my group, but they were both in Herat, and they told me that they cannot continue working on this project. I think they have found a job. They are working on a job. So Yaldajan went to the site, but because of the high security, she couldn't get a lot of information. It's like very secure, and it's not very easy to get information from the site. But she did help me with how she felt, and some pictures from the restaurant, and the weather, and the thermal comfort of the site, thanks to her. But I couldn't find a group mate who can go to the site and visit it much.
That's unfortunate, Jonam. That's okay. Go, continue.
I contacted some friends. They told me if they can, they will go, but they haven't been able to do so yet. So if we look at this, the entrance that goes to um, the hotel, which is on the western side of this building, like here, um, we from the inside, you can see picture number 1. That is after the main door, which was like a concrete door. We have another door in between. Probably there is some security checks and so. And then people go through this hall, and then there is in the picture 2, in this part, you can see 2 other doors, 2 glass doors. So after this, it ends up to these 2 glass doors, which is separated by which are separated in between, so they are not so this is not connected. One door, if you enter, like the door on the left, if you enter, you will go to the reception area. And the door on the right, if you can see my cursor, if you enter, it's more it connects you more to the stores, like the shopping area. So here you can see like some 2 doors, and I think this part which connects to the shopping mall is not open to everybody, probably. So people generally use these main door to go to the hotel. You can also see the views when you enter to this door. You can see the view in number 3. What you see in front of you is like 2 main, 2 like lifts in the front, and then there is also a staircase, which I'm not sure is functioning or not, which connects to the first floor to the second floor, and then back to the first floor, so it doesn't go up. You can see the doors also in this picture here. This picture is taken from the ground floor. It has one ground floor, all the shopping area, and also this cafe. And here you can see this. This is the reception. So when people go through this door, on their right hand side, they directly can go to the reception area. And the number 4, it shows like it also shows like how people have this semi view of the cafe and underground, because because there is a barrier between 2 doors, and then they can go to this reception, which has some staircases. I'm not sure if it has ramp, because for people who are staying and they have some luggage with them, or for those who needs for accessible routes, I'm not sure if there is also a ramp, but most of the stores and every store and every part, there are some small staircases, like 1 or 2 steps for every single store. I saw that. So here, when you go to this door, you see then again another door, which will be the 4th door here. Uh, so this one is what I meant, like separating 2 doors, like one which goes to the reception and one which goes to the building area by this, not sure what to call it. But when they enter here, you see on the left hand side, this is the staircase, which was visible, like which went from, it was a electrical staircase which went to the 2nd floor and then back to the 1st floor. You can also see the glass door here. So if when people go straight from this door, then they face a staircase, which is this one, and through this staircase they can go to the underground floor. And when so you can see the view from the underground. This staircase is taken, and then when there is a corridor, they go through this corridor, and then they can on the left hand side, they have this cafe, which has a door, I think, a glass door. I'm not sure if it's open for those. It's probably open for those who come for shopping as well. And then on the right-hand side, the area opens to this the shopping area. So it's like you go through this hall, and then this view from the 7, you face this main area of the shopping building. Here you can see, like, now that people come here, they have this view, like a huge place with a staircase in between, and stores on the 2 sides, and this hall in between. And people who go straight, for example, when it comes to the staircase, this corridor becomes narrower and narrower, and as you see, it becomes so narrow that I'm not sure if even 2 people can walk together through this, and it gets very dark. So if one continue this, they will yeah, so it gets very dark. There is no picture of what's happening there, like, which looks very dark. Okay, and then here, this is what I meant, like, when there is a, I don't know if it's a store or something in between, and very small gaps, so people go through this, and then they it connects through these narrow areas. The other half of the building, it's connected to the other part, because one part is this area, and then through these small areas which is left, there's another area for the shopping and stores on the 2 sides and everything. And once they go out, then there are more stores. And in between, like in a small place here, you see the staircases, which goes upstairs. And once we are, so these ones which are shown in the hidden lights, they are skylights. But they don't help to lighten everywhere. Most of people who I talk to say that it feels like you cannot breathe here. It feels like you just want to leave the place. You just don't want to stay. And they don't have many customers also. Most of the stores are not functioning, although it's very located in a very strategic position, and all the other stores are like, it has there are a lot of people daily come to this area for shopping to the other malls and everything. The position of it is very nice, very beautiful, but I myself, although I have been to many buildings, I have never been to this building. I don't know why, but it's not very it's not a building that people much prefer to go shopping for. There is another building right beside it, and we always went to there. I've never went to this one. It only has an ATM. I think some people, when they need the ATM, they go inside, but not for shopping much. So when you take these staircases, you go up, and then when you are in the first floor, actually that one was the underground floor. When you come to the first floor, this is the view you have on both sides. There are the handrails, a small narrow area in between where you can go to either the left or the right. If you go to this part, like in the 14, if you see this, you have this narrow area which hardly one person fits, but I think it's not a problem because not many people are coming anyway. So the other one is like 15, which a little bit of the a door is visible. So this is actually the door which connected from the main area. There are 2 doors, one main and then one in beside it, which is visible here, although the picture is not very good. Then there are more views of the of this first floor. You can see these handrails, the stores, and then the narrow corridor. And when you go up, the parts that don't have a skylight and the parts that they are not lightened by the stores light, they get so much dark, like that. From one corridor to another, it's like day and night. The difference is like between day and night. And then you go straight here, but because it was too dark, I couldn't understand. It is located somewhere here, but I couldn't understand where are these. But it's a bit connected to this area here. And if I go to the Next slide. Is that okay, Ustad?
Yes, yes, go ahead.
Okay. So here there are some examples of the stores. I wanted to see how much light they use to lighten this place because it's too dark, and then I see like there are too many lights. Like this is like a lot of lighting for a store, and all of them are using like or they rely on electricity for lightening this building, because the areas that are not that don't have electricity, or there are not many lights, it looks like it's night. There is no light in it. And also the height of this building. So when I talked to people, they said that it wasn't even meant to be stores or shopping mall. It was just meant for rooms, all of them, because the height is not for a mall. It's like for just rooms for hotels. And then they decided to make some rooms like stores, but I'm not sure if that's true or not. But that's what people who come here thinks because of the height of this area and like that. Because you see this person, I'm not sure if it's like 2.5 meters or even what is the height of this area. It's a huge area though. And this is the reception. And then you go to the stairs, and this is also another picture of this corridors from the upper floors. They are like typical, I think. You see the same things, and all the walls are like these white tiles. Too much, they reflect light too much, and it becomes like and the lighting here like makes one, even from the pictures, it makes me feel sick of the too much reflection and everything. These are some views of from the main area that I previously I explained. You see these two staircases, and one thing is like for sure that the lighting and then the reflection is maximized here, like and then these are some other pictures from the showing the other floors. Like these floors from all sections, they are rooms, but some of them are also rented for often to be used for offices. One side, which is conference halls and everything, I couldn't solve it because there was no information at all. So here I could see some corridors, and then some rooms and some staircases. I was just trying to figure out how it works so I could do some analytical sketches for this, but I'm still trying. In this picture, it seems like the floors are not on the same level, because you see like the some floors, you see the handrail is like down, and then the same one here it's up. I don't know the reason behind it, but it was like this, some parts. And the underground floor, first and second floor, are used for stores. Actually, a part of it, like which was like the narrow one, and then the other parts are all rooms, which is used either for offices or mainly for hotel. And then one part is the events. Here you see the noise that exists, like how much light makes it look like tiring, and yeah, the amount of lighting and then reflection from everywhere. Not sure if it's a good thing.
Overstimulation of visual effect.
And yeah, and then some areas, like for example the cafeteria, restaurant, I believe, and then the gym, I believe they are on the 9th floor. This one is what you see. It's like a glass, and then inside is I think the cafeteria is the main restaurant where people who stay in the rooms, they go for breakfast. And this is a view of that. And then you can see these white tiles for all the buildings, and then the handrails and everything. The handrails also, they are not like one, they have so much broken pieces. I believe these are a bit I'm not sure, but some of them were a bit widened in the higher floors, but then a little bit more narrower in the lower ones. It seems like that, but I'm not sure. And here you can see like
Haida John, Haida, can you
yes.
just stay in there? I have one quick question. If you can
Yes.
let me know what is this area? Hold on a second. What are these windows?
Oh, these windows are the room. These inside is hotel rooms, and I'm not sure what is inside. I couldn't figure that out. But these are windows that the rooms have, like front to the corridor, I guess.
But to do what? To bring in light, look outside, or what?
I have no idea about that.
Okay.
They just thought they could pluck in some holes there, and I don't know.
Yeah.
Okay. Are you
And,
done? Go ahead.
I think just like what this is the last slide. It's just like a view of the
Keep going. I'm really enjoying
underground.
it. I'm really enjoying her discussion. Keep
Underground
going.
floor, and you have this we have this staircases which it looks like, and people say that it's not functioning because most of these escalators, like they are not functioning. When I see the pictures, they are closed, so they're not open for use, and it just goes to this floor and then goes back down, and I don't know why. Yeah, and then that's it.
تشكرك يا جوني. Give me much more what you think of the interior of this place. Give me kind of a summary of what you were just doing. I mean, we got it.
Yes.
But to end conclusion, to end your presentation, what would you like to tell us about the interior of this building?
So actually, when I studying this building according to sustainability, two main things that I wanted to focus first was one, the lighting and illumination in this building, and then the other one was facades, like thermal mass and everything. So for the first one, like looking at like to see how much light this gets, it has a skylight, which is like the only place which this building gets light from. There is no like, for example, there are some stores around this building which has beautiful lighting, like they are so lightened. But I think those stores, there could be some, for example, there could be some places left for to bring light inside the building also. This is a huge area, but the only source of lighting inside is that one skylight for 9 floors, and there is an underground floor which is absolutely no light. It has no light. So I witnessed that because all the facades are covered with stores. If they could bring some light inside it, if they could liven up this space a little bit, maybe it would have been even economically more according to economic more sustainable. Now now they have maximized the use of the stores and the rooms and like the hotels, but there are not many people who prefer this building to come. They don't like to stay. They say it's very hot. There is no ventilation here. You feel like you can't breathe. You just want to go out. Even people who come, they don't go to different stores which are like under the stairs or here or there to explore what kind of stores are there. So it's not functioning well, and it has brought them some economic damage as well, because the place is not comfortable to like for the human experience. It's not built for that. And also it could give some place to the public, but instead it has taken some place, like the door is located on the sidewalk, which has taken some place from the public instead of giving some maybe open area to the side. Generally, this kind of buildings, which are huge and tall, they should give something back, maybe in the ground floor. But I think, and then the lights, not, yeah, I think I have brought a photo, but I couldn't, if I can find it, just one, yeah. So this building, you can see the shop is lightened, but you can see the door. If you want to go out, it looks like you're going inside a hole, like the hall or the corridor. It looks, you cannot even see what's in front of you from this here. It's completely dark. Yes, the shopkeepers they pay for the electricity, they lighten their stores, they maximize the amount of how many lights they use. However, the corridors, they stay dark because they need maintenance. They need, like, it needs continuous, they need to continuously pay for the illumination of the site. There is, it doesn't get any natural lighting.
Go ahead, Deja.
Thank
Gary,
you, Hadia John. That was really a wonderful presentation. I specifically enjoyed your discussion from a human experience of the space and how you guided us through images and plans, despite of the fact that you probably had some hard time to find all the information. And saying that, I want to just express my appreciation for your explanation and talking about really issues that people use that space, where they walk to, how they go up and down, and how they experience the environment from air and from lighting and from materiality and all that. Just keep it in here in your plan. And I have a few questions, if you can indulge me with your answers, is the following. Can you tell me, it looks, it's a shopping mall, but also it's a hotel. How many floors are
Yes.
there for the hotel, and how many are there floors are there for the shopping?
So for the shopping, only this part of the site is used, and only 3 floors, one underground, first and second floor. The rest
Mhm.
of there are total of 9 floors, if I'm not mistaken. The rest of both of the sites are used for rooms. However, some parts are also used for events and conference halls, which people generally, I think, go from this side of the site. But I haven't solved that part, and I'm not sure which floors they're located in
Okay.
and everything.
Let's assume that you're a visitor. For you to come and stay there from the 3rd floor up in the hotel, which side of the building would be your ideal place to experience the outside of the building? Can you
I
tell me
would
that?
prefer this corner, like the northern corner.
Ah,
If there is a room
okay,
there, it has a
okay,
beautiful view to the park.
okay,
And also, if that is not available, I would prefer like the northern, and then other than that, this section, this area.
okay,
Which is like the western. Although it might not be very good for heating, but this wall is completely covered with the building next to it, which is attached to it,
okay,
so it has no view, and it has
okay,
no like window for ventilation. And from inside
right,
also, it doesn't have anything for ventilation, so it's very difficult. And this one also, it might have a little bit like for the ventilation, but it again, there is another building like attached to here, so it doesn't have any view, or and also it might be difficult for ventilation and everything. So the only left is like this part, and then this area here.
okay. Now, the next question, quickly, if you can tell me, if you two move up and down and experience the outside, which side, like let's say stairs or escalators, which side would you prefer to have that?
I would just rather go to this escalators because it's a little bit open in front. So because these stairs, they are like it's very dark. It's the stairs is not in a very good condition itself, and it doesn't doesn't seem safe because it's very dark. You cannot see what's happening. So I would rather like go through the corridors and take these escalators to go up or down to the building.
Okay.
And then from
Now,
here you can.
yeah,
You mean elevators, right?
Yeah, elevators. I'm sorry.
I meant escalator instead. Would you say this, if I to put the elevator, the escalator and stairs in this direction, that somewhere here you go up to get to this floor, and then all these areas become more of a rooms, visitors room. Do you think that makes sense?
Yes, it would definitely make sense because these rooms can be like more in maybe narrower to get like if to fit all the place here, because it's not a very huge, like it's not even but then here it can get a bit light, but
So
I'm not sure,
the
but the
reason I
windows will
asked you,
also open.
yeah, the reason I asked you, because this area here could be the corridor, right? Either you come up in here from the next level or come up in here. And then you have these spaces that potentially be cellular spaces for rooms, and then have some kind of a window to look outside. I think it is really incredible that this area here, which looks into the Parque Charenau, it is really not used properly. That could be potentially, the reason I'm asking you, because though I really appreciated your walking us through it, but what I love to see from, I know you can do it, that you do an analysis sketch to show us what would be the best way to make this a place. As you said, that no one wants to go there. What would be human experience for you and me to say, oh, I really like to go in there and go to a hotel room or go to a restaurant or a coffee shop or a stores or whatever it may be. So I think this is a great example, and you have done an amazing analysis from a human perspective, from human experience perspective, and I really enjoy that. Thank you so much.
Thank you so very much. I will try to.
Uh, absolutely, I agree with Mehdi John. You did a wonderful job kind of walking us through the spaces and showing us the human experience, where they're dark, where they're light, where they're too thin, where they're too short, too low. You did an amazing job at it, John. I congratulate you on that. Thank you.
Thank you.
إيران باید بفهمن که architecture in crime is very, very prevalent. As architects, we should not create spaces in our buildings that can promote crimes from happening. Like, look at these, hold on. Masalan, let me look at this area. I mean, areas that honestly, you literally somebody can get killed and no one would hear it. I have a minor in criminology with architecture, so I see that a lot. So remember, lighting and ventilation and everything has a lot to do with just not only just the human experience, but to safety as well. Okay, so when we want places to be well lit and ventilated and all, it doesn't just help us in terms of making us feel better. It makes us feel safer as well. So make sure that you guys be very conscientious as architects. Enole, I want to know one thing. Isn't the Sophie Hotel, is this the whole thing, the Sophie Hotel? Or I thought there was another structure that came right here. Isn't that true?
Yeah, that is another mall. It's not related to this building. That is City Walk, which was built later on, and it took this view of the building.
Okay, so basically,
But this building, but it's a separate wall. Yeah.
So, okay, so, but they literally just suffocated this building more by
Yeah.
putting another
Yes.
building right in front of it,
Mhm.
right?
Yes.
So,
Yes.
yeah, I don't want you to just look at this alone, like only, I don't want you to look at this. I want you to evaluate the entire thing, okay? This addition is a part of this building now. So you need to make sure that you evaluate the entirety of it because they made some decisions. Remember, right here, they added another building. Oops. So when we talk about it, you need to add that with it, so that because
Yeah.
here now when we're looking at it, these views, there are new views here because there's another building in front of it. So
Yeah.
yeah, so we need to look at this in with that building in addition to everything else. In the exits and whatnot. And you did a pretty good job in determining, the lighting and whatnot. And I was just thinking about this. Maybe I can ask you guys, Wali John, the excessive use of electricity in these buildings, in some areas of these buildings, isn't that kind of what is making the city not have electricity at certain times? Could that be one of the reasons? Okay, some of these buildings are using too much electricity at times,
Mhm.
and maybe that's affecting the city or the community not have electricity. I don't know. I mean, that's a question I'm throwing out there. But thank you, John. It's very well done. Najim John, do you have anything to add, or Tuba John?
Yes, thank you, Ustad Mir and Gizjan. Yeah, I would like to also add that Hadia John has done a tremendous effort to study this building physically, almost from room to room, store to store, circulation system, escalators, elevators, balconies, but not balconies, circulation that has around the interior courtyard. I understand that you couldn't go to the hotel bedrooms because those are not allowed to go in. But I think you should. That there are some windows getting light from the tiny dark atrium that's inside of this building. You did a very good job. And as Ustad Mirangis pointed out, what is it that you're getting into? You didn't mention there is a nice restaurant on the rooftop of this building, and that's the best part of
Yes.
it. Yeah, okay. But I think I like to look into another factor that affects the architects to design these kind of spaces, or they're forced to do it, and that is the location of this building, the piece of land in the center of Kabul, Shoranau, next to the park. It's a very expensive piece of land. So when an architect is given the assignment to design the space, and then the owner or the financial source, they make the architect to take the most use of this space and land in order to produce more income. So that is, you get into this issue of sacrificing the comfort and the environment for the sake of bringing more income and financial uh, for the owner. I think this is true also in other countries, whether it's the Middle East, Dubai, or Europe, or even in America. If you rent a room downtown or in the city center, you don't get a good room. You get like maybe and a square foot, maybe 120, 150 square foot, which is equal to what is it? Maybe a four meter by 5 meter room, but you pay like $300, $400 a night for that room, and you probably don't get any view. You look into another building's wall, or but then if you decide to go away from the city center, like I mentioned the other time, go to Intercontinental Hotel, you get a much open space, much bigger for the same price that you're paying over there. So I would like to, have AFGHAN and the team to look into the financial factor that is affecting the design of these buildings, and the architects is forced to get the most advantage of financial income from every square inch of the space. And that's where we end up with sacrificing the comfort and for financial gain. And this is looking into
as a responsible designer. I don't know. As a responsible designer, if a developer comes and tells me, "Come on, just stick whatever you can into these, make more rooms." I mean, you have to give your opinions or your recommendations as an architect to the developer. Okay, you want this place to stay and be good for you, or you want it to be a prison that you just want to rent and people will leave? I mean, you could make chill. Of course, mardum greedy mardum zyatar shoda, that's the problem.
Yes.
Places are being done like this, and I remember being in this building a long time ago, 2009, and I couldn't wait to get out. I know في نبود اینجا the building كده بشروي بود نبود هنوز وقت فقط یعنی مال بود. I walked in to use the restroom and walked out. I couldn't stay there. So
I would add to that, Merengue, for the sake of students' education, that a good design doesn't mean a cheap design. A good design is not a product of spending tons of money. I think a good design is obviously the communication between the architect and the investor. Part of our life as an architect is that you have to educate your investors and the end users. And I'm sure Najim John knows better than any of us that dealing with the clients. He spends so much time to educate them, to let them know that your good design is going to pay back in the long term. It doesn't mean that they should cut corners. And I think it also doesn't give the architect the license to spend so much money to make it a beautiful building. It doesn't have to be that. I think the whole idea of creative thinking with the design, with the architect is creativity. How do you create an amazing space, tight space, with less money? And I'm sure it can happen. But anyway, those are the.
Yep. I like to add that I'd like to have the students to look into Japanese architects' solution for these problems. As you all know, Japan is such a small country with a big population, especially Tokyo and Kyoto is jammed. But I think the architects, I mean, people hardly have an apartment bigger than 10 by 10 square meter, or but these new generation of architects in Japan, they are producing pleasant spaces out of nowhere. They get all the environment, the lighting, but they use, Ustad Mehdi is right that, an architect can come up with a better solution, different techniques, different ways of bringing light, comfort to a building, and not only listen to what the owner or developer is asking for more money. to come. So this is, you know, where we.
Look at all these architects that do such amazing work. You've been an
Yes,
architect,
yes.
how they solve issues with design. You are an architect. You're supposed to solve issues with design. That's what
Yes,
that's what your job is. And if you
yes.
can't solve those issues with design, then architecture is not for you. See what I mean? That's
Exactly.
the
So,
Yeah,
difference.
I
so
just I just put a couple images online as Najim John was talking about the Japanese architecture. Look at those vertical spaces that are they don't look out, they look into the space. How the space brings in the light from the top. And it's very narrow, but the experience of the richness of material, the lighting, the small amount of greenery can create an incredible, and of course the graphics brings an incredible experience within the space. So I think students should be aware of these things, that you could spend less but create more effective space.
Yeah.
I looked at both this.
Omar Boud, Zandagi Boud, inshallah, we will give a project for us as shopping center for them to understand how to create space for more than a few people, for larger developments. Like we did that at school. We worked
Right.
on a shopping center. Yeah. We need to درست educate کنیم شما را so that you get the most out of the education that you deserve, guys. Okay?
Well,
I think the other thing
indeed,
is, Najib John, you mentioned about the Japanese architecture, the tight space and create an amazing experience, is that we should really, students should start thinking about large space doesn't mean luxury. Large space
yeah,
could create a lot of troubles. So
yes,
it's really the ingenuity and the creativity of the architect to create that experience of tight space into an amazing space. And that's their
yes.
job. That's our student job, to think whether they're designing a house or a shopping mall or a mosque or a bridge or a prison or whatever it may be.
Well,
Exactly.
Mai was looking at Najim John. This is, I'm just speaking out loud. I'm just thinking out loud. For concept development, we should have a course just for concept development. دخترها ما یک direction بدیم که اینو همون concept صحیح یاد بگیرن how to develop it. If Chishawa, Mehdi John, we can all teach the course. I can come up with the curriculum of it. It's up to you. We can talk about that later.
Exactly.
Inshallah.
Yeah.
Okay. Anybody else has anything to say or add to these projects, to these amazing presentations?
I think adding to your suggestion, Mirangi John, I would even go further and ask students find a plot of land and say, okay, you're supposed to be creating a modernism result, or you're in the same lot, you create a regionalism architecture. So they have to really dive deep and understand the meaning of those values before they start designing, whether it's in a planning or it's a three-dimensional space or a material selection or whatever it may be. Because you're absolutely right. There's so much information there to learn just from a few architects, modern architects or critical architects during our lifetime that they exist. Someone raised a hand.
Was there a hand? Let me see. No. Yeah, I think these are amazing ideas. We can inshallah continue this education, this route. Barzike, I think we can provide these girls solid architecture education just between the four of us. I mean, honestly, seriously, because look at
the four musketeers.
Huh?
The four musketeers.
Yes.
Absolutely. But this is looking great. It's looking promising. You guys, thank you. Inole, we need to kind of برزيكي تشون كلاسي Dijon is ending this Wednesday. Najim John, what should be ماذا والغ 14 week. But then I would like to have Dijon for reviews and Ustad Kazemi or Moyun John in Ohama. Again, what direction should we just kind of have this group kind of stop and take what they have and either make a recommendation or a improve concept presentation.
Okay.
Okay,
Well,
this is what sorry,
Yeah.
Najim John, this is what I'm planning about the group C. On Wednesday will be their last day of presentation of their design concept. No more. And then when I'm away for 3 weeks, when I come towards the end of the month of July, end of August, I like them by then to develop design development in terms of technology, in terms of nuts and bolts of the spaces, in terms of materiality and all that. So that doesn't mean that that's all they do. They have to also improve their design thinking in terms of design concept. Not 100%, but a small percentage to improve it. That's how I think.
Okay.
Well, that sounds good. I think I knew that Ustad Mehdi is going to be away in July. So now he told us that after Wednesday he will be away till the end of July. And he asked the students that Wednesday is the deadline for the concept design. And then that gives the students almost a full month to finalize the things. But
Exactly.
I think it's up to you whether you want to continue still with the students going over their analysis and evaluation of the building, or you want to ask them to come up with their report, final report. It's up to you.
I don't know if I want a report. I don't care to see a bunch of data, things that I can look up. What I would like them to do is to, based on the historic aspects, based on sustainability, based on regional or, everything that they have looked at as of right now, I would like them to kind of come to a consensus on what they're thinking these buildings need. Remember, these are graduates. These are already, most of them have degrees. So in masalan, if this was a project given to them in the practice, okay, well, there's problems, you need to fix it. So how would you come up with fixing this? That's a proposal in presentation format with design format that I like to see. I don't want to see a report of written things. I want graphics. I want to see how you want to solve these issues in this building.
May I suggest something, Merengues John?
Sure.
And this is really an interesting process. I think what I would like to suggest, they have gone through their own analysis. I mean, specifically with this project that Hadi John showed us. They also listened to our, argument about issues. Now, I hope they made a note of it. What I'll probably suggest is say, okay, these are the stepping stones that I know what the problem is with this building. What happens if they say, okay, I'm going to create a zoning plan to showing this 9th floor plus 3 floors? What could be better in terms of a design if they to produce an alternative, a solution, a better solution, purely from maybe planning and some three-dimensional drawings to improve this, because that was the original intention, to analyze it and understand what could potentially be improved. And I think that might, because I'm looking at this project, Hadi John, that has an incredible potential to go back based on what she learned and from on her own research, and also from our arguments, and take those issues and say, instead of analyzing it, she already has the issues. how she responds, using those issues to respond to reconfigure the zoning and planning of this building. That might be probably a way to wrap it up.
Mhm.
Okay, Manzoor Tanyane, basically, you have the structure. This is the site.
Exactly.
How will you configure the planning of this building to make it better?
Exactly.
Right?
Like they have, like they told us that on one side is a building, on the other side is a building. They know
Right.
where the entrances are. They know the platform or the form of the building in L shape. What would they do? What do they think to make it really better, the best shopping mall
Right.
plus
Yeah, I think that's a good idea.
hotel?
And we have the same with Khair Kha, and we have the same with the Gaza Mosque. We saw what the problem with the Gaza Mosque was. So I think
Yes,
Fatima John had a clear direction. Unfortunate that we couldn't record, but they can go back into the AI meeting data or
that
meeting
yeah.
minutes, and they can read it and see what the issues were that we spoke about. And more than anybody, خود فاطمه جان میفهمه که چی دید چی ندید چی پرابلم بود چی نبود. این حال اونا بیاین بر ما بگوین که we would like to better these projects. این حال we can wait
Exactly.
که اینا مثلا 3 هفته بعد که میاین دخترها رو من 3 هفته میتم که یک پریزنتیشن درست سر ارسیزی پروژه درست شوه و replan, redo it, basically. و 3 هفته وقت داشته باشن. I think that would be a good idea, don't you think?
Okay. Okay.
Absolutely. I just thought about it. What an opportunity. What happens if I just say I'm going to spin this whole thing on its head? I'm going to put the shopping mall in the green area, put the hotel sorry, in the red area, and put a hotel in the green area. Just by doing that, doing that, you're flipping the
Yeah.
whole thing in terms of look, orientation, light, public entrances, and so on and so forth. I think that would be amazing because it's
And
really
all,
based on
yeah,
critical thinking.
absolutely. And you know what? The fact that there is a
That's
building,
a very good quick solution to the.
yeah,
I
like
think
there's a
I
building.
told you I have been to this building, and believe it or not, you don't feel comfortable because you don't know whether you are going to your hotel room to relax and sleep, or you are still in a shopping mall.
Exactly.
Crowded, yeah.
Well,
So why
مثلا
not
you
Yeah.
planning is that there's a building here, so perhaps all the rooms or everything that are here that in Injosta, maybe it could be reconfigured. It could be moved other places. It could so that we can have or facing this way. Oops, I should be getting the little chop. Anyway, Manzuri is masalan it should be looking probably this way or because this is a blockage. You have no light, nothing. So, Mito and by say students, architecture graduates, they can replan this. This is great. This
You
is a good
know, this building seems to have a personality problem because they no
multiple.
seriously, no seriously, because the owner or the developer and the architect had two projects basically, the mall
Yeah.
and the hotel. And there are buildings around the world. The primary concern is the hotel. And then they add shopping, high-end shopping, not a mall, but stores. What would happen if they start thinking along that way and be critical about it? So not to confuse or create a problem by trying to make the best out of both. You can't do that.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yep.
Yeah. We
So
have a
anyway,
lot of
it looks
places that we can look at.
it looks like we're gonna spend the month of July for both school classes to complete their project, and in August they should be ready to present. Correct?
Final.
The
Yeah.
Final, yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then was September, we can start the new semester and then we can take it from there.
Maybe.
Yeah.
What do you mean,
But we're
maybe?
going to continue
Are
Are you
our
going somewhere,
classes.
Mr. John?
we'll talk about it on the without the students.
Oh, of course. Okay. Well,
All right.
Mokho, I think we're good. If
Thank you,
anybody else
thank you.
has anything to say, از تشکر از همه شاگردا، از همه پریزنتیشن ها، از همه ریویور ها، استادا که امروز ما اینجا کمک کردن. دیگه that's it, I think.
تشکر.
روز خوش برای همه.
Wonderful work. Really wonderful
تشکر.
work. Wonderful.
بسیار
Thank you,
تشکر.
everyone.
بسیار تشکر.
تشکر از همه شما. هدیه جان، یلدا جان، همتان.
Oh, there's Zara Jan is in too. So Zara is
Oh.
in too.
Zara John, I think I saw her. Was that her portfolio that came through? Somebody
I
sent
have
us
no
a
idea.
portfolio. Okay.
Portfolio. Wow.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. از شما
So see you
نبود؟
on.
از یک دختر خانم دیگه که به نام زهرا بود. That's okay.
I'll see you guys on Wednesday.
شما خوش.
All the best.
ببخشید من خوبه این
کی بود؟
من پورتفولیو ما ارسال کرده بودم، نمیدونم به دستتون رسید یا نه توی ایمیل، جوابی چون
زهرا
دریافت
جان.
نکردم.
امیزه
بله.
خودت هستی زهرا جان؟ بله
بله،
بله
بله.
رسید. تشکر جانم.
تشکر.
بر دیگران فرستاده بودی یا تنها بر من روان کرده بودی؟
3 تا ایمیلی که اونجا بود فکر کنم من برای 3 تا ایمیل فرستاده بودم ولی هیچ جوابی دریافت نکردم. بعد نمیدونم ایمیل ها درست
خب
بود یا نبود.
ما فکر میکردم از دیگران اونا فکر کردن از من. It's okay. ما برات رسپاند میکنم. Thank you.
تشکر، خیلی ممنون از لطفتون.
خواهش میکنم جان. روز شب همه خوش.
ممنون همچنین.
تشکر وقتتون.
خداحافظ.